There's so many lenses out there, right? When you're talking about photography, it can be overwhelming. In fact, this is one of the most common questions I get from new storm enthusiasts is, which lens should I get in order to capture storms the best, okay? Well, today we're gonna do a challenge. I'm going to talk about several different lenses, and then I'm going to tell you which one would I pick if I could only pick one. Are you ready? Let's get started. So for this video, I want to take a minute and break down a few different types of lenses that are contenders. There's a lot of lenses I could pick, okay? There's a lot of lenses to pick from. So this is where it gets confusing. This is where it gets really hard. But I want to do my best, okay? The first lens I want to talk about, and I'm going to talk about these in general. Okay, we're not talking about very specific brands, etc. I'm talking about focal lengths, which is basically how wide or how close in a lens is, okay? Well, if I had to pick one, which one would it be, right? Well, the first lens I want to talk about, the first contender, is an ultra wide fast prime lens. This is usually something in that 12 to 18 kind of range, but something really wide. I'm going to go with 16 or 18 millimeters for the purpose of this exercise to make it a contender. Now, what's so great about these? Well, first off, they're fast, which means in low light, they're going to get more and more and more light, which is really good if you're wanting to keep some detail as that light lowers around storms. This can be really helpful and beneficial, especially for video. But also you do sacrifice some depth of field that could really make it hard to capture things in focus. But still, I love those ultra fast primes because they're going to allow you to do things like capture storms at night, get those beautiful starry skies, that sort of thing, and really bring out the detail. Now, I can't guarantee, there are some drawbacks, right? First off, there's no zoom on a prime lens, so you are stuck. So if we're talking about just picking one lens forever, and you're stuck with that lens, I don't know. Let's go to the next one. Let's see what I think about that one. Now, the next lens I want to talk about is something that almost every landscape photographer has in their kit. This is a standard zoom type of lens, a 24 to 70. Almost every photographer who's a landscape photographer will end up with a 24 to 70 millimeter lens. Why is this great? Well, 24 millimeters is really wide. You can capture a lot of stuff, but it's not as wide as that ultra fast wide prime. So you're going to end up in situations, especially with video, where you were wishing for more width in your shots. So that's one drawback. But the good news is that you have a lot of reach. So in most cases with storms, 70 millimeters is about as far as you need. In most cases, there are some cases where that's not the case. So there's some cases where they're not the case. I'm really on a roll today with my vocabulary, aren't I? Anyways, this 24 to 70 lens does a lot of great things. A lot of times they're going to be really fast, especially the more expensive ones. So they're going to be almost as fast as an ultra wide prime, if not as fast. But also you're going to get a lot of versatility with this lens. You're going to be able to shoot pretty wide. In most cases, this is great. Unless you're a structure person, then it's probably going to be disappointing in some ways. But also you're going to be able to zoom in quite a bit. So that tornado on the ground 3 miles away, you can zoom in and get a really good amount of detail. So I love this lens, but is it really the one I want? Let's take a look at another one. So this next one I want to talk about is the standard kit-ish type of lens. These actually can come in more premium quality, which is what I have on my camera at times. 24 to 105, 24 to 120, something in there. So basically something that is about as wide as that standard zoom, but you get even more zoom on the other side. You can get a lot closer. 105 millimeters is pretty close. So if you want to zoom into the base of the tornado, for instance, you can really get in there. You can get close. Some people really love that shot of the zoomed in tornado shot at the base, the churning ground, all that. Very big deal. So I would really recommend this one for folks who want that versatility. I think this is a video lens. So I think this is like, if you're wanting a good amount of flexibility with your video, this lens is pretty good. But is it the one I would pick? Here's a couple more that I also have considered. Now, another lens that a lot of storm chasers swear by is the ultra wide zoom lens. This thing can typically be somewhere between say 16 to 35 or 14 to 28, something in there, something really wide, but also gives you some flexibility. Granted, 28 millimeters, if we're going 14 to 28 millimeters is still pretty wide. So in most instances, if there is a tornado happening and it's 3 miles away, you're not going to be very zoomed in. So that's going to be one drawback to these, but you do get a lot of flexibility on the wide side. So if you're looking for storm structure in particular, this is a really good option because you're going to get all that detail all the way around, and it's really cool. I love these lenses for storm structure in particular. So I've talked about a lot of different lenses. Which one would I pick? If I had to pick one lens for the rest of my life to shoot storms with, which one would it be? Well, here's the answer. I would use the standard kit-ish lens because I'm a video person. I love taking photographs. Photographs are awesome. I love capturing storms that way as well. So here's what I would do. I would use that length, that entire range of the zoom to get all kinds of great video shots. And when I needed something wider than 24 millimeters, I would simply shoot a panoramic. And that would allow me to get more of the storm in focus. I could do a lot of post-processing to make it look really wide, really good. And that's why I would pick this lens, because you can't replace, you can't zoom in and keep that detail if you have a 24 to 70 or if you have an ultra wide, okay? Now, if I could pick a second lens, if I could, I know I said I was only gonna pick one, but if I could then add a second lens to my arsenal, I would pick an ultra wide fast prime, something 12 or 18 millimeters. I have both in my kit, so I love them both. I love the 18 millimeters because in most instances, it's wide enough, but the 12, the shots are incredible, especially when you're a little closer to a storm. You get all that detail, all that, it's just, it's chef's kiss. I don't know if I could pick between either one of those. It's really hard to do, okay? But I love both of those lenses so much. So if I could pick a second lens to complement that one, it would be an ultra fast wide prime lens. So hey, if you are still making purchase decisions, I hope this video was helpful in that way. If you are a photography junkie and you want to argue with me, that's great too. Leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear why I'm wrong. I would love to hear why I'm right. And also, beyond all that, remember, whether you're just getting started and you're wanting to capture the sky around you, or you're an experienced storm chaser, weather is for everybody, and that definitely includes you. Be sure to subscribe. We'll see you next time.